everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a card using the Thick and Thin stamp set from the National Scrapbooking Day bundle number 1. And it's still available while supplies last on my website. So this is the stamp set. And I'm going to be using papers from the Blue Skies collection, the pattern papers, and then also the UV coated cardstock. So let's get started. I have some white daisy cardstock here, and I'm going to use the toilet paper roll with black ink. And I'm going to stamp this out. I'm going to do a couple of them. And then I'll get my stamp cleaned off with my stamp chamois. And then there's a couple of sentiments that you can put inside here. And I'm going to use the one that says just roll with it. And then I'm going to use the little stamp that says #stayhome. And I'm spacing these far apart because I'm going to do a little banner. And you'll see how I do that later on. So I'm going to fussy cut the toilet paper roll. And the easiest way to fussy cut is to just hold your scissors and move your paper around against it. It's easier to do the shaping and turning by moving your paper, and leave a small white border around it. And it won't be so hard on your hands. And then I'm going to emboss the toilet paper roll using, this is a retired embossing folder. It's stitched circles, but there's a floral embossing folder that's available on the website right now. And there's a variety of different embossed images that you could use for these. So that's what it looks like after you run it through with your embossing folder. And let's build our card now. So I'm going to make a landscape top folding card. I've got a piece of sapphire, and it's cut at the A2 size. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm gluing it down with the broad tip glue pen. Embossing the toilet paper roll, it's an idea from another consultant. She shared the idea, so I thought it was a cute one, so I'm making my own card using that idea. So I'm going to cut the patterned paper, get all my stuff out of the way here, at 4 inches by 5 1/4 so that I can leave a border of sapphire around it. And now I'm just kind of figuring out where I want to place things on my card and kind of designing as I go. So you can kind of see my process here. So I decided that I needed to layer the yellow with sapphire. So you'll see me do that in a minute. But right now I'm going to go ahead and cut my little banner of the #stayhome. So since I didn't stamp straight, what I do is I kind of line it up in my trimmer. Instead of against the top of the trimmer, I line it up so that you can see that the image is straight. And then you flip it around and cut it again. And then I'm trimming off the ends. And I'm just eyeballing it. It's not exact measurements. So the best way to create a banner is to start in the center at the end and then cut towards your image, and then take your corners to meet that first cut. And that's the easiest way to hand trim a little banner. Okay, so I'm just kind of layering things together and figuring out measurements. And that little banner needs to be on the yellow paper because it was disappearing on the patterned paper. So I'm figuring out how much I need And my final measurements, the yellow wound up being 4.5 by 2.5, and then the sapphire that layers under it is 4 5/8 by 2 5/8. But I'm just kind of playing around with it and just figuring out what looks good. So I decided that this yellow piece needed to be trimmed down just a smidge more because it was going to cover up too much of the pattern paper. There we go. Okay, so now I'm making my sapphire piece be just a little bit bigger. And sometimes the trick for doing this, or shortcut for doing this, is you go ahead and you glue your piece down with that border, and then you just trim off the excess around it. And yes, I wind up using a little bit more cardstock than I should when I start designing these cards, but once I have a pattern out, then I can bust out a whole bunch of them and conserve cardstock. So this is just my process. So now I'm taking a piece of craft foam and I'm going to cut it down so it's just a little bit smaller than my sapphire piece so that I can back that and it'll be nice and solid. So I'm going to attach that with white Tombow glue. And using the wet glue, it makes it easier because then you can kind of fiddle with it and move it around and make sure that you have time before it sets up to make sure that you have everything in the right place. And then I realized I hadn't glued down my pattern paper yet, so I'm going to do that with the broad tip glue pen. I like this floral paper, it's so pretty. Okay, and I am bumping that yellow piece up a bit so it's not exactly centered on the card. One of the design principles or principles of design are to leave more space at the bottom when you're framing out something and just bump it up just a little bit so it's not all even all the way around. It's just more pleasing to the eye. So I'm gluing my toilet paper roll to the UV coated cardstock with Tombow because it'll attach and stick better because of that slick surface. It makes it easier to attach with a super sticky glue. And I'm just eyeballing this too. I've got some shimmer trim, so I'm going to make kind of a little banner at the bottom. So I've got 2 pieces of red and 2 pieces of gold, and I'm going to flag out the ends, or dovetail, banner. There's lots of terms for that technique. So I'm just trimming those out. And then I'll attach those. And then I thought it was just a little bit too long, so I'm trimming that down. So I'll get all those down. So all of these supplies are available on my website. We just started a new catalog. And you can go to my website to take a look at all the new products that are available. And I will make a list of everything in the description below. All right, so that's my card. And then I decided after I shut the camera that I needed to define that flagged out piece in the stay home, the hashtag stay home piece. So I used some Nuvo dots in blue on both sides. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you.